Rethinking letter names. Your entire life you've called this a clock. You've seen them, you've talked about them, people have talked about them to you. You've heard the word clock, you've used the word clock. But now I'd like you to rename this thing in your brain as ool. You've called this ball your whole life. Now I want you to call it a. You've called this a block. Now I'd like you to call it t. You've called this one cup. I'd now like you to rename it p. And not only do I want you to learn these new names for things, I want you to be able to remember them automatically as easily as you do your own name. Let's have a bit of a practice. How are you going? Can you remember what they're called? T, a, oo, a, t, oo, t, a, k, oo. Your turn. Now I'm going to ask you to do something that will determine the outcome of your life. I'm going to ask you to put those pictures or symbols together and read a word. Have a go. If you got lap, well done. Lap. Good job. Here's another one. Pat. P-at. So if you've achieved that step, fantastic. But you need to be able to do that in the order of somewhere about 90 words per minute by the end of your 3rd year of this learning. Your ability to do this automatically and quickly will impact on your life outcomes. We know that if you can't do this, you are more likely to be a victim of violence. You're more likely to be incarcerated. You're more likely to have a low income and have poor health outcomes. If you don't learn to read with these symbols effectively by the end of primary school, well, sorry, you've missed the boat. And the reason that I use this as an example of why we shouldn't use letter names is that I want you to have a think about how hard was it for you to reroute your thinking around what that thing was called. Your whole life has been spent naming these things in a particular way, and now I'm asking you to do it differently. How long would it take you to no longer associate that first picture with the word cup, but to automatically and effortlessly call it p? Now I want you to imagine, you might not have to imagine, it might be you. I want you to imagine that you have a memory difficulty. I want you to imagine that you have auditory processing issues. I want you to imagine that you have some kind of challenge that prevents this from being easy.